It was a flashback for me in 1989 when Dave Scott and I were running.
How about Sam and Lionel? What is your take on that race?
Well, I was having a Mark Allen flashback moment when I was watching that because, you know, Lionel and Sam were together, obviously, those last kilometers of the run, and they were both just like beating up on each other, trying to pull away. And Sam was he was faster on the downhills, you know, which is, you know, he's got those long legs and he's got super good form. He works with Ryan Bolton, you know, former triathlete and a great runner. Anyway, and so as I'm sure you saw in the race, they both went through that last aid station, and Sam grabbed one last little glass of something, and Lionel didn't grab anything, and that little bit of a gap opened up, you know, just enough of a gap, and all of a sudden, you know, you could see Sam going, "Oops, big mistake," you know, and then Lionel just put the hammer down, and he actually said in an interview that I heard, he said it was interesting because he said, we were sprinting those last kilometers, and then we went to that aid station, and Sam grabbed a glass of something and I didn't grab, and I looked and there was a gap that opened up, and all of a sudden I just put the hammer down and went hard. And I'm thinking, wait, you just said you were sprinting it, but then when a gap opens up, all of a sudden you realize you got another gear because now's the moment to make it happen. It was a flashback for me because in 1989 when Dave Scott and I were running side by side at the Ironman, you know, my 7th Ironman, 0 wins. He'd already won 6. With about at mile 24 and a half before that last long uphill before you drop back down into town and go to the finish line, there was an aid station, and Dave got to the aid station just in front of me, and so he grabbed for a glass of something, and I started to come in to grab for my last glass of whatever, because, you know, at that point of the race, you are running on fumes, you know, and so even getting a few calories in can make the difference between running that last mile and a half or breaking down and walking. And so I start to go to grab, and something just goes, go. And I pulled my hand back, and the exact same thing happened. It was just enough as Dave goes like this and looks back that a gap opened up. And you can see on the film footage of it, Dave, all of a sudden, you know, it's like shock. And he kind of like this, and his shoulders come up, and he starts to rock. And, you know, I just put the hammer down and got to the top of the hill before him, got to the bottom of the hill before him, and then I knew that I was going to have it, that I could do it. So you just never know. Just that slight difference of grabbing and looking back, and somebody makes a little gap late in the race like that, that can be the difference that makes the day for you. And you don't know when that moment's going to happen, or what the move is going to be that's going to make the break, or whether it's going to be you that's going to do it or the other person that's going to do it. And that's the part of racing that I think is really a takeaway. I didn't know that was going to be the point, nor did Lionel, but both of us, when it happened, knew that this is it right now. And so you have your strategies of how you're going to race, what you're going to do, and hopefully how you'll be able to come out with the result that you're looking for. But then ultimately you have to figure it out on the day, in the race, as it unfolds. And it may have nothing to do with your ideal scenario of how you're going to actually pull it off. I coach athletes all over the world, only age groupers. I love age group athletes. MarkAllenCoaching.com. All of my training is online. It has all of the knowledge that I've gained in almost 40 years in the sport and over 25 years of coaching athletes all over the world. Athletes of all ability levels, ages, target race distances. I love it. There's a lot of interaction. I am your coach at MarkAllenCoaching.com. You don't get shuttled off to somebody else. You have interaction with me. Hope to see you on there. MarkAllenCoaching.com. And there's a special for you guys only. You can get the first month for $1. The discount code is first month one, just for you. MarkAllenCoaching.com.